Well, hi everybody, this is Dave Crawford. I'm just going to go over a brief presentation with you to show you some of my favorite Web 2.0 tools that I use in the classroom. I'm sorry about my voice, I do still have laryngitis, and teaching every day like this is about as much fun as it sounds. So I apologize, I'm not the nicest to listen to at the moment, but I'll do the best I can. All right, I'm going to give a brief overview of two tools and then as per the assignment, go into detail on the third. The first tool I'd like to discuss is a tool called Hootsuite at hootsuite.com. We'll visit the website in just a moment. This is a Twitter client, basically, a web-based Twitter client. It also has applications for iOS and Android. And you say, well, if I'm going to use Twitter in my class, why do I need a special client? Well, I'll address that in a second, but first of all, I think Twitter is a great tool to use in the classroom. Personally, I have a Twitter channel that a Twitter account that I've created only for school use and only for my students, and I use that to broadcast the daily homework assignments and some other things as well. Whenever I upload a new video to my YouTube channel, it posts a notification to Twitter automatically. There's several things I like about Hootsuite that if you use Twitter in the classroom, I think it's worth your time to take a look at. First, let's take a look here. Now, here's what the Hootsuite interface looks like. You can see here I am up here, MR Crawford HCS. That's my Twitter account. You can see some of the tweets in my stream here. One of the things I like best about this is your ability to schedule out tweets as far in advance and at any time of day that you want. So let's say that my Algebra 2 class, the homework is going to be page 100, numbers 1 through 90 all. Just a nice, reasonable homework assignment there, right? But let's say I didn't want to assign that today. Let's say I wanted to schedule that out. Let's say I want to schedule that for, I don't know, February 4th. And I want that tweet to be sent out at the end of the school day, so let's say 2:45 p.m. I'd like to receive an email when that tweet goes out to confirm that it went out. And I select this and I just hit schedule, and it just takes care of it for me. And it'll put it over here in my scheduled stream, and I'll see that this tweet is scheduled to go out on February the 4th. You can add as many columns here as you want for different views. So if you're going to use Twitter at all in your classroom, I think this is a really great interface for it. And the tweet scheduling alone, I think, is reason enough to look into using something like this. All right, now I want to show you the second tool that I'm going to look at just briefly. And that second tool is the Desmos.com web-based graphing calculator. It is a fantastic, wonderful web-based graphing calculator, and it's free. Now, I know these other web resources are free as well, but graphing calculators aren't usually free, right? And good ones aren't. You've got the TI calculators, which are very expensive. You've got the TI Inspire calculators, which are extremely expensive and very complicated and all kinds of things. The Desmos calculator is just great. It is extremely advanced. I have a degree in math, and there are things on this that I don't know how to use, and that I haven't been able to explore to their fullest yet. It is fantastic. And the great thing is that the barrier to entry is so low. If you just want to graph some basic equations, it's so easy you don't even need to watch a tutorial to do it. The barrier to entry is much lower than, say, on a handheld TI-84 calculator. So let's say I just wanted to graph something simple like, let me pull up the keyboard here so you can see what I'm entering. Let's see, I just want to do 2x to the power of 2, so 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. And it just does it for me. And you can see, let's see if I scroll down here. If I click and hold on the graph, I can see various values. It'll show roots for me. 0.0851 is a root here. If I scroll down a little ways, it will automatically find other nice points like the vertex, negative 0.75, comma negative 5.125. It'll find automatic intersection points. You can import, export equations. You can change colors. You can customize everything. You can email these things. You can print them. It's just a fantastic, just sort of open-ended resource. And so for all the math and science teachers out there, I would certainly recommend Desmos. Okay, the main web tool that I want to talk about is polleverywhere.com. I have just briefly begun to use this. In fact, I used it for the first time in class for my technology based lesson for a previous assignment. And after spending a lot of time over the last few days really looking through the features, I've just gotten really, really excited about it. It is, as I said here, fantastic, incredible web tool for acquiring and analyzing student responses in real time. This is fantastic for teachers, and in my opinion, especially for us math teachers, this addresses a real problem. How do you quantifiably assess in real time or in near real time how well a group of 40 students are doing with a particular skill? That is dramatically difficult, and there are ways that we can get at that, but a lot of times we're not as accurate about that as we like to think we are. This tool helps with this so much, and it is free for teachers as long as your class size is less than 40 students, because the free account allows you to create polls that can be responded to by 40 people at a time or less. You can, however, use the same poll multiple times throughout the day if you have multiple classes. All right, well, I want to take you just on a brief demonstration to sort of show you how this works a little bit. So I'm going to flip over to the Poll Anywhere website, and here I am. Here's my account. Let's go close that for right now, and you can see I don't have any polls. Now I just want to show you how to create a poll basically. So I'm going to click on Create Poll, and let's see, what's your favorite beverage? I don't want to create an open-ended question that could probably go south in a hurry in a classroom context, so we'll stay away from that. Let's see. Let's go with tea, coffee, or juice. And I'm going to click on Create. Now, what has happened, and it's going to take just a second to load, it's created a poll. Now, anyone who's viewing the screen at this time, whether it's a student in my class viewing the smartboard screen, whether it's you watching this presentation and seeing this now, who sees this information can respond to this poll. And there are multiple ways that students can respond. Let's say that a student has their cell phone. I have my iPhone here. It does not even need to be a smartphone. It can be a so-called dumb phone or just a basic flip phone if they still have an old phone like that. Any device like that will allow students to respond. So I want to demonstrate this quickly. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to respond via text. So if I open my text messaging app, which you can see I have here on my phone, and it says you're going to text it to 37607. So I will say 37607. And let's say my favorite beverage is coffee. So I'm going to text my response as 342375. All right, I just sent this text here on my phone, and we're going to watch what happens to my screen here in real time. All right, you can see that one person has responded. That would be, me. And the results updated almost immediately. There was, a 3-second delay? It's very rapid. Now, many of your students will have smartphones, iPhones, Android devices, and things like that. Those students can go to a web address over here. If I click this button to open up this poll to my custom web address, and my Poll Anywhere username is mrcrawfordhcs or Mr. Crawford HCS. So if a student opens their web browser to that poll, to that poll, to that website right here, pollev.com/mrcrawfordhes. They can bookmark that website. They can save it to their home screen. You can see I'm on that website now, and the poll appears in a very, very user-friendly form. So now I'm going to select something else. I'm going to select T. So now I've selected T on the app, and now you can see it updated automatically. So students can text in their response. If they have a smartphone, they can bookmark your unique page that will always update in real time with whatever poll you have active on your site. This is just fantastic. Now, I'm going to close this poll, and I'm going to go back to my polls here. In fact, I think I'm going to, I'm just going to go ahead and delete that poll because I want to create a new one. Poll Anywhere also has a means by which you can paste questions in mass. So if I open up a Word document, I've typed in a couple of questions here. How many meters are in a kilometer? Question mark, and I've listed some potential answers. A quadratic written in the form here, question mark, and then I've written some answers. Poll Anywhere will automatically interpret this text and create questions for you. So if I go back to Poll Anywhere, and I say, okay, I'm going to create a poll, and I go into the box and I paste the text, it automatically parses it out. It sees my first question. Let me close that, sorry about that. It sees my first question, and it gives multiple choice. And it sees my second question, and we'll see how it deals with this math text in a minute, and it gives multiple choice. And so if I click create, it will create both of those for me at a time. I can then now select them, and I can group them together, and let's call that new group C, mini quiz. And so now I've got this group of polls, which is really two questions, that I've called mini quiz. Now, let's say that I want to ask these two questions in succession at the end of a class. Here's what I can do. I could click them sort of one at a time, or I could do this. I could select them both, and I could go up here and click Download as PowerPoint. Download as PowerPoint. I'll click Download as PowerPoint, and it'll pop up with a PowerPoint file. I'm going to open that up, and it'll take a minute because there we go. It creates a PowerPoint file for you that has slides that give some basic instructions as to how to use the site. No, I don't need that because I know how to use the site. But the most useful thing that it will have is the last two slides in the presentation will be live slides of the poll questions I just created. So here it says how many meters are in a kilometer. Well, I could then go to either of the two methods that I mentioned to you before. I'm going to text in a response here. So I'm going to text my response to 37607, and let's say, well, since I know that there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer, let's text my response as being 342,403. 342,403. Hit send. And this slide now in the PowerPoint is going to update in almost real time. See, there it goes. Now again, I'm not looking at the web page here. I'm looking at a slide that's embedded in a PowerPoint presentation that I can use in any other context that I want. And as soon as the slide is displayed, the poll goes live. When I click the next PowerPoint slide, the next poll goes live. And you can see that it did a pretty good job interpreting the math formatted text that I created in Microsoft Word. So this is extremely powerful in my opinion. I think this is just a fantastic tool. Now, a couple other things that you can do if you want to, if you decide you like the service well enough to pay for it. Down here it says, want to grade your students. If you upgrade to a paid plan, it's not the cheapest in the world. I think for teachers it's $40 some a year, maybe $50 a year. What you can do is your students can go log on to your Poll Everywhere page, and they can register their email address, their device, whatever it is that they're going to be using to respond to polls in your class. And the website will keep detailed track of all of their responses throughout the duration of your week, month, semester, school year, and you can print out reports at absolutely any time showing individual response rates per student. There's advanced data metrics. You can create pivot tables and all kinds. You can just play with the data until you go cross-eyed by looking at the stuff in terms of analyzing how your students are doing and on what. I'm not sure if I want to dive in and pay the $50 a year for that, but I'm thinking about it. I think it's really a fantastic tool. All right, now just a couple of concluding thoughts on this. Let me get back to the slideshow here, resume the slideshow. Use in the classroom. I think this obviously creates a high level of engagement. If you use it constantly, multiple times per class every day, that'll obviously go down. But if you use it once a day, twice a day, critical times in the class, I think it really ups the level of engagement significantly. You can use open-ended polls to assess students' prior knowledge of subjects, to brainstorm about certain topics. And I really do think this is the so-called holy grail, in my opinion, of real-time, accurate, formative assessment in math. You know, when you've got 40 kids in the room and you need to know if you've got 80% comprehension rate on a particular skill that you've just taught, you can either semi-fake it or you can use something like this. This is a really fantastic tool for that. I see this personally in my class fitting in a daily end-of-class routine, something concluding at the end of the day, and I think that would be something that students would look forward to. Specifically, we're asked in the assignment to respond to how to assess student learning. That question really answers itself for this. I mean, the whole goal of this is to assess student learning in that very, very moment. And the more thoughtful you are about the polls you create, the better job of doing that you can. I personally, if I jump into the paid option, I would use that to once a week, maybe once every other week, probably email parents of students that fall below X% correct response rate for the week. You know, if I see a kid who's getting less than 70%, less than 75% response rate correct, you know, that would be a great early indicator of a problem, and that would initiate more student-teacher interaction with that student and contact home, things like that. So I hope this has been informative and helpful to you. There's so much more. There's lots of tutorial videos on the site. I'd really recommend it to you and hope that it's a tool that you find useful. Well, one additional thing I want to show you, I have one more slide I forgot. Create a poll for you guys and put it on my blog and leave it open, and you guys can click on it and comment on it. Here's how that works. So I'll go here, I'll create a new poll, and I'll say, do you teach summer school? And so multiple choice, so we'll just keep it nice and simple. Yes or no. And I'm going to create this poll now. And so here's the poll. Now what I'm going to do is make sure the poll is broadcasting. I'm going to go down to share and publish, and I could get a live link here. Instead, I'm going to click to put it on a blog or web page, and it's going to give me three fantastic options. Option number one, it'll embed a voting widget in my blog or web page so that you can actually click on it on the web page and vote. Ooh, low battery. Option number two, it will display the chart widget in exactly the way that I've shown you so far. And option number three, it'll just give you a picture of the final results. I don't want that. Let's see. I think in order to, so you can see how the texting works, I'll go ahead and use this option. So I'm going to grab the code and copy the code and go to my blog site and click on Compose New Post and say a quick poll for you from polleverywhere.com. And I'm just going to paste in the text and hit publish. And if I view my blog here, you can see Poll's going to take a second to load. And the poll that we were just looking at is going to display here in my blog, so that if you text in and respond here, you can get answers that way as well. You can post this kind of thing on your own personal blog for students, so the possibilities are pretty limitless there. All right, thanks for watching.